Welcome to Focus Today, and the studio is filled with this beautiful fragrance of a butterfly bush. And Tim Elbert's here. He's hiding in it. Oh, there he is. Anyway, we're here to take your questions today about what's going on in your yard or anything you have about yard work and plants and flowers and trees and bugs and sprays and no sprays and transplanting and vegetables and lawns. And Tim heads up the Four Seasons Nursery out on Crater Lake Highway. And everybody that calls in, your name goes in the hat. And towards the end of the program, we draw a name out, and somebody's going to win this beautiful, and I mean, it is gorgeous, butterfly bush, and it smells so good.
Yeah, that's the one nice thing about the butterfly bush is that that wonderful fragrance that we get on those all summer long with those blooms. So, yeah.
How big will this thing get?
Well, this variety is called Miss Molly, and it gets about 5 to 6 feet tall. So it's not as big as the old-fashioned ones get, but definitely bigger than the dwarf ones do.
All right, and is that the standard color, or they have a variety of colors?
Well, this is the color of this variety, Miss Molly. Now, there are lots of color variations in the butterfly bush, but the unique thing with this is that we know that from years past that the butterfly bush has been banned in Oregon. So you can't plant it in Oregon. However, along come these new seedless varieties that have been certified for planting in Oregon, so because they don't reseed and come up all over in the wildlands. And so it's a great alternative. If you have the old-fashioned butterfly bush, you can yank that out and get rid of that and put in one of the new ones. Or if you've got a great place where you want to have some beautiful flowers, they make great cut flowers too. Bring them in the house for fragrance, and they just bloom for a long time. But get one planted in your yard, and they attract, of course, butterflies, as well as the pollinators, the bees, and the hummingbirds as well.
What will this bloom for how long?
This will bloom up until frost.
Okay.
So yes, it begins blooming usually in June and just continues all through summer and fall.
This thing is delicious. It smells good. You know?
Yeah, there's almost a vanilla smell to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: everybody is being strained because of the water,
Right.
And I've been doing a lot of watering, and what's so interesting is that the plants getting plenty of water, but I think they're just flat burned up.
Well, we've had some real heat.
Yeah.
And heat stress, I try to educate people. Heat stress is different from water stress. We can give our plants all the water in the world,
Yeah.
but it's still 105 degrees outside, and the foliage is sitting out there. And I don't care how many glasses of water you drink. You stand out in that weather, you're going to get burned.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so the plants are going to suffer a little bit from the heat, and but mostly that's just some cosmetic damage, and they'll come back from that. But yeah, and there are some things you can do to reduce the amount of water you're using, and we can talk about that too.
All right. By the way, our phone number is 541-776-5368. That's the local number in and around the Medford area. Toll free for everyone else, and that is 800-373-5368. When you call in, your name goes in the hat. Somebody at the end of the program is going to win this beautiful butterfly bush. All right, let's start with some calls here. Hi, Robin.
Good morning.
Hey, what's going on with your peach tree?
Well, it's about 6 years old. This was the best crop I've had, but I've picked all the fruit because it wasn't that ginormous. When can I think about pruning it? Should I wait till fall or?
No, right now.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because it was one of my topics that I was going to discuss today too, is the peaches and nectarines. We're harvesting those now, and in order to reduce the problems with peach leaf curl, you want to do your pruning right after harvest.
Okay.
So as soon as you're finished with your harvesting, you can go through and do any kind of pruning you need to do on your peach trees, and then that will avoid having to do that pruning in the winter time. And for some reason, it seems like the trees seem to do better with that, and you reduce the amount of problems with the leaf curl.
Okay, I have two thoughts that occur to me. Do I put anything on the ends, the open ends, after I cut?
No, just leave them alone. They will seal up on their own, and you won't have to worry about that at all.
Okay. And then do I just leave branches that I think would be, well, I'm thinking of trying to keep it shorter rather than taller to make
Sure.
it easier to harvest. So can I think about leaving branches that are going to grow more horizontally than vertically?
Yes, and just make sure that you're pruning off all that real soft, small wood, because if you can imagine a peach hanging off of that branch, the weight of the peach, if that's going to drop that branch down, you know, bend it or break it, then it's probably a good idea just to prune that. So
even the strongest ones.
Yeah, even width-wise, you want to reduce all of that little growth down and allow the stronger branches to maintain.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, 776-5368 is the phone number, or toll-free 800-373-5368. Hey, Matt, what's wrong with your tomatoes?
They got brown spots on the leaves, and some of them are dying.
Oh, some of the leaves are dying, or just the whole plant?
We're losing 2 or 3 of the plants pretty bad.
Okay.
But brown spots, and it seems to be spreading through the bed.
Your wife is not singing to them.
Or she is. You never know.
So let's stick to the tomatoes, guys.
Okay. No, there is it sounds like a disease called fusarium. And unfortunately, the cure is worse than the disease itself. So there's nothing really you can do with that. Yank them out. Throw them away, or don't compost them, because you don't want that back in your beds the next year. But really, there's not a good cure for fusarium in tomatoes. But that's really what it sounds like. But before you go yanking everything out, it'd be a good idea to get a confirmation on that. So snip off a few samples, put them in a sealed plastic bag, bring them down to us, and let us take a look at it to make sure that that I'm telling you the truth.
Okay. It's raised beds. Does stuff live in the ground and need to be? Do I need to replace the dirt in them for next year?
Well, it does affect the soil. But really, the best thing is for next year, be sure that you're getting disease-resistant varieties. And generally, when you're getting a tomato plant, get one that has, it'll say VFN on, after the name, and what that means it's resistant to verticillium, fusarium, and nematodes. So it'll say either VF or VFN or something like that. And those are the varieties that you want. So okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Matt. All right, 776-5368 and toll-free 800-373-5368. Somebody's going to win this beautiful and very fragrant butterfly bush, and I just can't get over the fragrance in here. It smells, kind of vanilla-y, huh? Yeah,
I call it kind of a spicy vanilla.
Does it take a lot of water?
They are very drought resistant. Once they get established, they can live without regular watering all through the summer. So you can, if you hit them up every, once a month or once or twice a month, they'll do fine. But establishing, of course, you're gonna have to give them a little water.
Can they take direct sunlight?
Love the sun, as much sun as you can give them.
Okay, there you go. There's a western plant for you.
And they're deer resistant.
Oh, they're deer resistant.
There you go.
All right, let's take one more call before the break. Hi, Brian. What's going on with your trees?
I've got about a 10-year-old poplar tree and a 10-year-old maple tree, and both of them are sending out surface roots out into the yard. I'm wondering if I can chop off those roots.
Probably not. Especially with that poplar, if you cut the roots there, you're going to get suckers coming up forever till Jesus comes. And probably even after that. But anyways, yes, it would be a disaster. And as far as the maple goes, it's not as big of an issue. But if you're pruning out or cutting out a lot of surface roots, you're going to damage the tree, which can make it more susceptible to other problems. So not a good idea. Now you can cover them up, so you can increase your the amount of soil in the area and replant your lawn or whatever you're thinking of. But the poplar is just going to surface again. So. The poplar, there's nothing you can do. You can move. But the maple, you may be able to solve a few of the problems with the maple.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
All righty.
All right, thanks, Brian. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take more of your phone calls, and somebody is going to win this beautiful butterfly bush coming up a little bit later on. And the way you get your name in the hat is to give us a call. Tim's here from the Four Seasons Nursery out on Highway 62. You go on out, you get off on Violet Road, you hop over to the frontage road, drive up a half mile, and roll down your window, and you'll smell the flowers before you see them. Okay, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paulina, and I work at theDove TV. Did you know that when you support theDove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, thedove.us.
Okay, we're happy. Today is Happiness Happens Day, and it just happens to be also the same day that Tim Elbert comes in the house from the Four Seasons Nursery. So the combination of those two is a real caffeine high. I mean, I think I'm getting a headache from all of this stuff. Anyway, he's brought with him a beautiful butterfly bush. This thing is just gorgeous. It's a very deep lavender, and it's going to bloom up till the first frost. And the fragrance is wonderful. You may want to put this just outside your bedroom window.
Oh, yeah, yeah, in a nice spot where the little breeze will bring it in, yeah.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Anyway, when you call in, your name goes in the hat for that. Okay, what happened to me here? All right, let me try with Joan. Are you there?
I am here.
Hi. What's going on?
Well, I've got some spots on my lawn, and they're getting bigger, and, you know, it almost looks like I can just lift the lawn right out and tear it out, and it looks like almost a foxtail.
You know, there's a couple of things that can happen that can cause that, but the biggest one is grubs, and they're a little ugly worm-like creature in the soil that feeds on the crown, and it causes all kinds of problems. If you dig up a chunk and start to work the soil a little bit, usually within the top 2 inches of soil, you'll start finding them, and there'll be probably quite a few of them.
They're bugs?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are they a worm, you said?
They're kind of like a worm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. They're kind of a dirty white color. The adult is what we called, as kids, we called them mosquito eaters. Have you seen those flying around?
Yes.
Okay. That's the adult. So they're not mosquito eaters. They're just bad bugs. So there's a product called Grub Free Zone by High Yield. And that's what you're going to want to put down on that lawn. It's a granule, sprinkle it down, water it in, and that will take care of those grubs for you, and your lawn should begin to recover from that.
And where do I get that grub? What do you call it? Grub free?
Grub Free Zone. Yeah, there's this great little nursery called Four Seasons.
Is it on Violet Road?
You're just off of Violet, about half a mile north of Violet on Crater Lake Avenue.
Okay, I think I'll do that.
Okay,
and I can get, it'll kill that off. You mean will the lawn grow back in, or do I have to dig that up?
Well, some of the lawn will recover, some of it may not. Give it about a month, and we'll be right into reseeding weather, and you should be able to reseed sometime in September in those patches that don't come back. But a lot of it should come back.
Okay, you don't think I should dig those parts up at all?
No, just give it some time first, and then that way you don't have to dig up more than what you really need to. So
okay,
you should begin to see recovery usually within a week or two.
Okay, I'm going to come in and get the stuff.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Joan. All right, let's go to Carrie. Hi, Carrie. Sorry about that. We got you back. You want to know about pruning your avocado tree?
Yeah, I planted one from seed, and it's top heavy. Keeps falling over. It's about 4 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
And the stalk is about 3/4 of an inch thick.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how far I could prune that back to get it to encourage it to grow some limbs.
Well, you can go back as far as you want to. Wherever you want it to begin to produce limbs, that's where you want to prune it to. So, you know, cut it a foot back and see how that goes. If you need to cut it back more, you can. But you've got it in a container?
Yeah.
So if it's falling over a lot, you might consider going to the next size larger pot as well.
Okay.
So prune it, repot it, feed it. I like to use the Garden Coat by Fertilome. It's a little pelletized fertilizer. You sprinkle it on there, it feeds it for 6 months, and that works really good. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay, should I prune it back to a leaf, or should I just whack it off?
Yeah, prune it back to a leaf. Yeah, that'd be best.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Carrie. All right, let's go to, hi, Patsy.
Hi, how are you this morning?
Good. You want to know how to tell the age of a butterfly bush?
Right.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
How old are you?
This one's about 6 weeks old.
Pardon me?
That's older than that.
Yeah.
What was your question?
How do you tell how old a butterfly bush is?
Well, that's a difficult question because there's not a real way of knowing. We generally go by the size, and the plant can grow a good 3 feet a year, but if it's been pruned back, then it's really difficult to know for sure. So we usually just kind of, whenever somebody asks me that question, I take a look around, see what the rest of the landscape looks like, and try to identify the size of the trunk and get a quick guess. Now, if you're watching us on the Dove TV, the sample that we have here, this one here is probably a 2-year-old plant. And it's been cut back so it'll branch out and stuff. So this specific one's about 2 feet tall, but really well branched. And so if you've got one at home that's 5-6 feet tall, you can expect, and well branched, you can expect it to be 3 to 5 years old, maybe.
Okay.
All right.
And what do you consider an old butterfly bush then?
Oh, the old varieties. The old varieties of butterfly bush produce a lot of seed, and then that seed begins to come up and germinate all over the place. So if you're having little baby butterfly bushes coming up in your yard, chances are you have an older variety. Now, the newer varieties are probably only about 10 years old now. And so if you have anything that is pre-2000, you definitely have an old variety, and it might not be a bad idea to yank it out and put in one of the newer ones.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, 776-5368 is the phone number, or toll free 800-373-5368. Hi, Paula.
Hi, yes, we planted a beautiful rose bush this year, and it's been blooming like crazy. But I noticed that the old growth leaves that are down lower from the original bush, I started getting that white mold on it. And I'm wondering, does how you water your bush have anything to do with that growth of mold?
It doesn't have anything to do with its development, but it definitely has a lot to do with how it's spread. Overhead watering, hitting that white powdery mildew, can splash the spores off into other areas, and then it begins to spread rapidly. So if you're overhead watering, you might want to stop that, or at least get the fungus under control as best you can. And it will definitely keep it from spreading if you're not overhead watering.
So do rose bushes normally need to just be watered from the root system? Because when it gets hot, I don't know, do you need to cool the leaves down?
Yeah, it's best if you water at the ground. You don't need to cool the foliage down when it gets hot. Roses love the heat, and they'll do just fine. But if you water at the base, you'll have less trouble. Roses tend to be more susceptible to powdery mildew and black spot than a lot of other plants, and so because of that, it's a good idea to keep it from spreading by watering at the base.
And how do I get rid of the mold now?
Now use Fertilome's liquid systemic fungicide. It's an excellent one for that. You spray it on, and it will keep it under control. Any big patches that you see that you can prune out, it's a good idea to prune those out first and get rid of those. Again, put them in a sealed plastic baggie, throw them in the trash, and then go through and spray everything real good.
Great. Thank you very much, Tim.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Paula. All right, let's go to, let's see here if I can get it to work. There we go. Hi, Penny.
Good morning.
What's going on with your squash bugs?
They're having a convention in my garden.
Oh, yes.
How do I organically get rid of them?
Chickens? I'm teasing. There's other ways. The squash beetles are really, really bad this year. They were bad last year as well. And for organic control, a couple of things. Pyrethrin, which is a derivative of painted daisy, and also neem oil. And neem oil also has some good fungicidal properties too. So we use a product, it's called Triple Action, and it's a combination of the neem oil and the pyrethrin together. And you mix that up, spray it on, and you do it about once every 7 days or so, and you should get them under control.
Okay, so you do see hope for my garden.
Yeah, yeah. Now, it is, as a natural spray, it is a contact kill, so you've got to contact the insect with it in order to kill them. So, so when they're out there, you know, spray them when you see them out, okay?
Okay, so I need to go out and have a pajama party with them.
There you go. Yep.
Good luck, Penny.
I want to see the video.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Penny. All right. 776-5368 or 800-373-5368. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
What's going on with your pansy basket?
Well, my pansy basket isn't blooming anymore, and my other baskets are blooming. I treat them just the same, so I don't know why it just stopped blooming. Also, when I water it, it seems like the water just fills up and overflows right away, like it's really hard in there. You know, the root system and the basket itself is really hard down in there.
And is pansy not petunia?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is petunia.
Okay. I was going to say, it's not uncommon for pansies not to be doing so well in this heat. So, but petunia. So if your petunia's not blooming, you know, chances are it's the petunia budworm that's causing your problem. And you may just have a lot of problem on the one basket, but it will spread to the others too. Are you spraying it for the budworm?
No.
So, okay, then you're going to want to use the borer bagworm spray. And you can pop in and pick some of that up. It's an all-natural product and works very good for control of those guys. It may take a couple of weeks before the blooms start coming in, but you're going to want to spray all your petunia baskets with that once a week. So that's how we keep ours going.
Borer bagworm spray.
Borer bagworm.
Oh, bag.
Yeah. Okay. If you just come in and say, hey, what do I spray on my petunias to get them to bloom again, we'll know exactly what you're wanting.
Okay. Well, I thank you so much because it's just so pretty when it's all in bloom. And yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. All right. Let's go to, hi, Diana. What's going on?
Hi. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I live in Center Point. I live on well water. I've been trying to run the hose for a while before I water my vegetables and my plants, but I'm not having any luck because I'm reading some garden books that I've got at the library because I don't have a computer, and I'm finding out there's too much salt in the water. Could that be killing everything I'm trying to keep alive? I'm so discouraged and so upset.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that Tim? Is that you?
Yes.
Is there anything that I could do? I don't want to give up.
You know, unless you can filter that out of your water, there's nothing. You will have to either bring water in or change out your water source somehow. But definitely.
Yeah, because I do have a filter on the water that's in the pump house, but I don't drink the water. I buy bottled water to drink. And the inside plants I have, I use spring water that's bottled water.
Mm-hmm.
So that keeps the inside ones alive, but I'm not having any luck with the garden outside or my flowers outside.
Yeah, just depending on what salts those are.
Oh, so there's different kinds of salts too, huh?
Yeah, there are. You know, high amounts of sodium or high amounts of boron or different things can cause different issues. But the filtering that out is really difficult. It takes an expensive system to do. So I believe you have to go reverse osmosis in order to do that.
So then the same water coming in the house would be the same coming through the outside of the house too then, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let me squeeze in one more before we take a break. Hi, Nancy.
Good morning.
What's up with your berry bush?
Okay, I have a beauty berry bush, and it's just gotten ugly and rangy, and I wondered when is the best time to prune that, and how severely can I prune it?
Oh, well, they can be pruned back very severely without any repercussions. So, so cutting it way, way back is no problem. You could do that now, but if you do, of course, you're going to lose all those beautiful berries that are going to be coming on very soon. So my suggestion is to wait until after the berry season is over, and then go ahead and just cut it way back, and you'll be fine with that. So the best timing for pruning on that is going to be in the spring when that first flush of growth comes on. And if you just tip that back, then as it continues to grow, it will thicken on its own, and so allow the first amount of foliage and whatever to come on, give it a little haircut, and then let it finish out, and it'll do a lot better that way. They bloom in the late spring, so you want to catch it before it blooms, and then once those blooms are finished, of course, they're going to produce those lavender berries on there, and they're just a really cool plant when when they have those berries on them.
Yeah, those berries are just stunning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Nancy. All right, our phone number is 541-776-5368 or toll-free 800-373-5368. Tim Elbert here from the Four Seasons Nursery, and you may want to give a call, get your name in the hat. Somebody's going to win a beautiful butterfly bush that's got incredible fragrance to it. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Daniel and I work at theDove TV. You know, compared to Portland, Seattle, and LA, Medford might be considered a small market, but at theDove, we're excited about the opportunity to make a big impact right here in our community. And you help make that happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us now by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us, or by phoning 541-776-5368.
Okay, we're back with our good buddy Tim Elbert from the Four Seasons Nursery, and they're out there on Crater Lake Highway, and you get off on Violence Road, just go up half a mile or so, and you can't miss it, all the beautiful flowers and the fragrance. And your hours now, 9 to 5?
9 to 5 every day.
Okay, all right. Watering. I have pretty much let my lawn go to heaven. It just requires too much water, and I'm on a well, so I can't maintain it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and there are some things that you can do to cut back on watering, and one of the things that I've been talking to people about recently is, you know, when we go to set our sprinkler timers, you know, we have a tendency to set our sprinkler timers for minutes that are, you know, that we're used to. 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, half an hour or whatever it might be. And because those are nice round numbers that we know. But if you were to go out and turn your clock back 1 minute, all your stations, let's say you had 5 stations, and you take 1 minute off of those stations.
Or the water you save.
The amount of water you save is incredible. You know, an average of 5 gallons a minute going through, that's 25 gallons a day that you're saving. And it may not seem like a lot, but if you cut 1 minute off, and let's say everybody on your block does, you know, then over a month's period of time, you're saving a lot of water. And 1 minute may not be anything compared to, you know, what your plants are needing. They may not need that extra minute. So you might think about how you can go into your controller and cut back even 1 minute. You know, if you're seeing water running off, you're already overwatering. That's water that's being wasted away. So cut back, and you'll be amazed at what you can do with just 1 minute, even 2 minutes. I managed to cut back an extra 5 minutes on my sprinklers and 15 minutes on my drips recently, even though we've had this hot weather, just to help give my well a little break.
Okay. But that's good advice, and I think given the fact that we are in a drought season, we got to conserve where we can. So good advice. Hey, listen, if you got any questions for Tim, get your name in the hat. Somebody's going to win this beautiful butterfly bush coming up. So when you call in, your name goes in for the drawing. The phone number is 541-776-5368 or toll free 800-373-5368. Now, on the other hand, that's good advice. But on the other hand, What about trees that need some deep watering? Now, fortunately, a couple of trees that I planted, I put some pipes down in the ground.
Yes.
So I just let the water drip in there for about, an hour or so, drip.
Excellent.
And that seems to pull them out. But boy, even trees are getting stressed.
Yeah, yes, and that's the key, is deep watering, not often watering, but deep watering. And even if you haven't buried a pipe, burying a pipe when you plant the tree is very, very good foresight. But if you've not done that, just taking a hose and turning it on so it's on just a small little trickle, putting it right against the trunk of the tree, and leaving it there for a couple of hours will change a lot. When we moved into our house, we had 2 big cherry trees that had been there. They were probably 10, 15 years old when we moved there. And as we began to do our landscaping around there, I noticed that these trees would just wilt really quickly. And at first we had to, when we were to deep water them, I would put the hose on one and run it all day long. And then I would move the hose to the other one and run it all night. And the next day, the first tree was already wilting again. And the reason was because these trees had never been deep watered. They'd always been shallow watered, and the root systems were up. It took us about 2 years. But now those trees are not on a drip system. We do not have to extra water them. And it's really nice. They're big, beautiful trees. And we've been there for over 10 years.
All right, well, there you go. All right, 776-5368 or toll free 800-373-5368. And let's go to Kathy. If I can get Kathy, you guys might have to switch it in there. It's not. Oh, there it is. Hi, Kathy. What's going on with your favorite moles?
They're not my favorites. I don't know if they're moles or gophers. Which ones do the trails?
The moles are shallower, and so you usually see their trails.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I need to know what to do to get rid of them.
Well, a couple of things. The one thing that I find to be very effective is a product called Mole Go, and it is castor bean oil. And of course, when they get that castor bean oil in their system, it makes them sick, and they don't like it, and they move over to your neighbor's yard. And then I get to sell your neighbor some of it too. So no, it works very, very good. It's an excellent repellent, and it comes in a granule or a liquid. Now, if you have a bad infestation, I suggest the liquid because it takes effect right away. If you just have 1 or 2 and it's not a big issue, the granules work just fine. Both of them have to be watered in, and so we put it down, water it in thoroughly, and you're going to get pretty good success with it. The granules last longer, so if you've got a really bad infestation, start off with the liquid and then add the granules in, and you'll get about 3 months of control. That's what usually works in my lawn for the gophers. I've got gophers, but it usually lasts about 3 months, then I start to see activity again.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Kathy. All right, 776-5368 is the number, 776-5368, or toll free 800-373-5368. Somebody's going to win this beautiful butterfly bush, and boy, the fragrance is wonderful. All right, Carol. Hi, Carol. What's going on with your pansies?
Well, I heard Tim say something about that it's been the hot weather has been hard on pansies. I've got just one plant that's still doing good, but I know that your pansies winter really well.
Yes.
But do we need to replant them before then?
A lot of times I say yes, because they get kind of leggy and not looking really good through the summertime. Sometimes they'll get powdery mildew or spider mites and other kinds of insects, and so they end up looking just awful. Pansies are a cool season plant, and when they get the heat from summer on them, they just become stressed out and become more susceptible to all these problems. So yeah, I say it's a good idea to yank it all out and start fresh. If you've got good healthy plants though that are surviving, you can keep them and they'll do just fine all through the winter again. And I know of people who have had their pansies last from year to year to year without any trouble whatsoever. So if you're one of those people congratulations. Otherwise, I'll see you in about a month for fresh pansies.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll be right back. And if you have any questions for Tim, the phone number here is 541-776-5368 or toll free 800-373-5368. And get your name in the hat for this beautiful butterfly bush. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paula, and I work at theDove TV. Every day we get letters and emails from people who've been encouraged, blessed, and challenged by the programs on theDove TV. But we couldn't do it without you. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to bring inspiration and hope to our community by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us, or call us at 541-776-5368.
All right, we're back, and we're talking flowers and plants and bugs and tomatoes and grass and water and all kinds of stuff here with Tim Elbert from the Four Seasons Nursery. And they're open from 9 to 5 every day, so you want looking for some color and plants some, well, what else you got? You got beautiful pottery out there. You got all kinds of trees out there.
Yes, we've got actually some beautiful fertilizer and bug spray.
Oh, well, now there you go. I've never heard it called beautiful before. But why?
Yeah, you know, it's what I was sprayed in the nursery one time for some insects, and one of my employees came in and said, "Oh, what's that smell?" And I said, "Well, that's the rotting carcasses of all the insects."
There you go. Anyway, he's got it all out there, and they're open from 9 to 5 out on Highway 62. Get off on Violets Road and go up a little bit, and you'll see it. All right, hi, Gretchen. You want to grow your lilac bush?
Well, I kind of want to cut it down.
All right.
I've got 3 bushes. They're about 18 years old now, and probably about 8 feet tall. Because our trees are so beautiful, they're pretty much in the shade all the time. They don't bloom. They look terrible, and I don't know what to do with them, so need your help.
Okay. Well, if you are just trying to get rid of them, then cut them down, but you're going to still have to dig them out because the root system will just sucker up and you'll get tons of little growth down below. So consider that you're going to have to completely remove them in order to get rid of them. If you just want to cut them and make them smaller so that they'll make a nice bush, you can do that. Cut them down. You could cut them clear to the ground, and they'll still come back from that. So as far back as you really want to. Don't expect a lot of blooms that first year because it's got to set some growth on first if you do that. But other than that, they should return to their normal bloom cycle. Now, having said that, if they're in the shade, as you say, they're not going to bloom well at all.
Okay.
So
if I cut them back to like 4 feet, just to kind of, like you said, make them look more like a bush, just because they're against a wall there, make them look pretty. So if I just whacked them back 4 feet, that would be okay?
Absolutely, be fine. Won't hurt them a bit. And you can do that now. You'd be okay.
And so now would be the time to cut them back?
Not the best time, but yes, you can prune them now. It won't hurt them at all. Again, if we were looking at their flowering as being a part of the equation, then you'd want to do that in the spring after they were done blooming. But in your situation, it doesn't sound like that's the case. So I would say go ahead and cut them now. Won't hurt the bush any. It just affects the flowering for next year.
Okay. I didn't know if I should wait till fall if it's a little cooler or if that matters.
No. Summer pruning is perfect on those. Not a problem.
Great.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you, and happy Friday to you both.
All right. Thank you, Gretchen. All right. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
What's going on with your lilac bush?
Well, I transplanted it from somebody else's yard, and all of a sudden all the leaves just started to dry up, and it didn't seem like, no matter how much water I gave it, it just didn't seem like it would hold the leaves. Started eating vitamins and stuff, but I still...
When did you dig it and transplant it?
The spring. I think
Yeah, you're gonna have to turn your radio down, Joe, in order to make it all work for you there.
Okay.
All right.
So, so on that lilac, were the leaves out when you dug it and transplanted it, or was it still dormant?
Yes, it was.
The leaves were out. So that's probably why is you just bad timing for that. The best timing to dig and transplant those is going to be during their dormant season when there's no leaves on them. Otherwise, damaging those roots can just cause them to go into shock and they won't recover from that. So in that situation, just yank out the ones you got and then wait till late fall when the leaves are off and ask your neighbor or friend for some more.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're easy to transplant, and you can dig them up, and even if they only have a small amount of root, at that point they will recover well. Just don't try to do it when they have leaves on them.
Oh, I see. So just keep on watering it. Now, do I deep water it or just water it?
Well, the one that you've got, I don't think it's going to recover.
Oh,
so I would start fresh by getting one that's dormant, maybe in November, and start that way.
So then November would be the best place, the best time to transplant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe. Okay. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
What's going on with your pumpkins?
Well, I finally have one fairly good sized one and one tiny one, but I have tons of leaves and blossoms every morning, and I've tried Dr. Earth. I went to the Grange, they said to put Dr. Earth on it, and I've sprayed the tomato blossom to help with the blossoms. I've even tried to take out of the male and put it in the female, and that's all the pumpkins I have, and I'm just wondering if that's all I'm going to get or what you think.
Well, no, you should get more pumpkins. If you're not getting good pollination, then just keep working that. Keep working the male flower to the female flower. I use like
it never opens. They don't seem to open. Is that normal?
No. If they're not opening, are you checking them during the day?
Yeah, the female is always, that's the big blossom, right? Is that the female?
Yeah, I don't recall, but I believe so, yeah.
And so I have a lot of those in the morning open up, but the males don't seem to open. They just kind of come up and then they drop off.
So, once they get kind of big enough that they're just before the point where they begin to fall off, go ahead and open them up by hand.
Okay.
And then use a cotton swab or something to get inside and get the pollen.
Okay.
And you'll see it on the cotton swab because it'll be kind of an orangey yellow color. And then just go into the female flowers and work them that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then my tomatoes have kind of, and it could be because I planted, they're not cherry, they're just a regular tomato. I think they're Medford tomato, I'm not sure. But I only have 2 tomatoes on one plant and very little blossoms. I've tried spraying that. I put the Dr. Earth on it. I sprayed it with tomato stuff, and I'm just not getting...
Yeah, the tomato and pepper set usually works good on that. Use it on a weekly basis for a while.
Okay.
And then be careful that you're not over-watering. Cut back maybe on your watering, and that may solve both those problems.
Okay, so like how often? Like I was trying to wait every couple of days, but then they get kind of dry, and I don't know how dry to let them be.
If they are not wilting, you're still okay.
Okay.
So if the soil looks dry, it's no problem. If they start to wilt, then that's when you want to get the water on them. So we'll get them just to that point where they're ready to wilt, and then water.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right, thanks, Janet. All right, let's see if we can squeeze in one more here. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Perry.
Hey.
Tim, I got a question about butterfly bush law.
Okay.
You already talked about how you couldn't plant the old seeding kinds of butterfly bushes against Oregon law.
Right.
What about those of us that have well-established old style butterfly bushes. Are they renegades now, or are they okay to leave in?
You know, we are searching out your address right now, tracing your call. The plant police are on their way.
Hey, hey, Roger, the drones are going to show up over your house in about an hour.
That's
Good
right.
luck.
You know, I would say that, you know, no, nobody's going to come around and write you a ticket for having a butterfly bush in your yard. However, if you are close to a wildland area, then it would be a good idea to get rid of it so it doesn't cause more problems in the wilderness areas. You know, if you're in the middle of town or something like that, it's not that big of an issue, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, if you've got one of the old kind, they're going to get a little on the weedy side, and if that's the case, get one of these guys.
So the butterfly bush police aren't going to come out and handcuff my plant and haul it off?
That's right, and you'll know them by their wings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, thanks, Rod. It's good to see you. All right. All right, well, there you go. So there is is the law you can't have it, or is the law you can't buy them anymore?
Well, the law is that you cannot. They cannot be grown or sold or planted in Oregon.
Okay.
And now, if you have one in your yard, I don't believe that there is anything that they can do about it. But you know, be a good steward, and you know, if you think it's going to cause problems in the wilderness areas around you, then
So
get it out of there.
They're very prolific, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, you know, we don't see a huge problem with them here in the valley, but over on the coast, that's where you see it. They're just invading all up and down the Oregon coast. You know, where they've just reseeded and taken over all over out there. It's just become like the broom, you know, the Scotch broom.
All right, some color. What do you got in the nursery besides these?
Besides those,
Yeah.
well, okay. There's a lot of things blooming right now. Are some beautiful gardenias. And I talk about fragrance. You know, they're wonderful, and these are hardy ones, hardy down to 0 degrees. We have 2 varieties of those right now. There are the salvias that are blooming right now. Beautiful red and dark blue. Put a couple of them together for an outstanding contrast. So they're really nice. There's a lot of other perennials that are blooming right now. We've got some pink fox veronica, little low growing plant, very drought resistant, very sun tolerant, deer resistant, really nice plant. We've got a great selection of succulents for containers and planting in the ground as well as you know, we dug up some dragon's blood sedum that we had in our front planter and put them up into flats. And if you want a ground cover that's going to take no water, be deer resistant, drought tolerant, you know, the whole works, $10 a flat. And for those, and while they last, so and they're just full flats, so really a great deal.
Is a ground cover that has a flower with it or not?
Yeah, it has kind of a red and green leaf to it, and then right now it's blooming with kind of a pink flower. In the wintertime, it turns blood red. That's what they call it, dragon's blood, and it is just really nice. So yeah.
All right, Four Seasons Nursery, they're open 9 to 5 out there on Highway 62, and check it out. All right, thanks for all of you who've called in. Somebody's going to win this beautiful butterfly plant, and it's a very beautiful lavender with an incredible fragrance. I'm going to mix them up, and you're going to reach in there and draw one.
All right, and first one I touched.
All right.
Oh, our first caller, Brian.
Brian.
Yes.
All right, Brian, you are the winner of this beautiful butterfly bush, and where should he plant it?
Lots of sun. Give it plenty of sun. Yeah. Green side goes up.
Yeah.
Planted in this real sunny location where it's got good draining soil.
And it can take lots of heat.
Loves the heat. Yes.
How much watering?
You know, right now, probably every day, every other day for the first couple of weeks, and then start cutting it back.
On a dripper?
Yeah, on a dripper or hand water, either way.
Okay. And last quick question, what should we do with our roses?
Well, you know, prune, deadhead the roses, feed them if you need to. If you haven't done that, you should be feeding your roses once a month. Yep, and they should be producing. Got some beautiful roses on mine right now.
All right, check it out. Four Seasons Nursery, open 9 to 5. They're there to help you. Thanks, Tim. See you next time.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I work at the Dove TV. Every weekday between 6 and 8 a.m., our award-winning news and sports team bring you the best morning show around. It's live, it's honest, and it's a whole lot of fun. And you help make it happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to air local programs that share your voice by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us.